US President Donald Trump is to arrive in India for a two-day landmark visit beginning later today. The visit is seen by many as a pleasant trip for the US President, where he is unlikely to face tough questions and win easy votes back home for the upcoming presidential elections. Good morning, I'm Amar Singh Pradhan and these are the headlines of the hour. Ruling party attempting constitution amendment to allow Bamdev Gautam premiership position forms a task force under the coordination of senior leader Madhav Kumar Nepal. In what is said to be reports of Finance Minister Kantipur's dismissal boost share market, NEPSE surges to cross 1500 points with transaction exceeding 3 billion rupees. US President Donald Trump to arrive in India later today for a two-day visit, the visit to focus on deepening ties between the world's two largest democracies. And Manchester United chalk out a comfortable 3-0 win over Watford to keep their chances alive for the Champions League berth. The ruling Nepal Communist Party has formed a task force to recommend the party leadership on the proposed constitution amendment. The three-member task force formed under the coordination of party's senior leader Madhav Kumar Nepal will study the possibility of constitution amendment that would allow leader Bamdev Gautam to be appointed as the Prime Minister after being appointed as a lawmaker of the National Assembly. Deputy Leader of Parliamentary Party of the ruling NCP Subhas Nemwang and Central Committee member Kimlal Depkota are the other members of the task force. Vice Chairman Bamdev Gautam agreed to be appointed as a lawmaker in the upper house, replacing Finance Minister Yuvraj Khattiwada on condition to amend the constitution that would pave way for the upper house member to become a Prime Minister. Vice Chairman Gautam lost from Bardia 1 in the general election held 2 years ago. One of the Secretariat members informed that Executive Chairman Pushpakamal Dahal recommended the formation of the task force as per the demand made by Vice Chairman Gautam. The ruling Nepal Communist Party has formed a task force to conduct a detailed study on the proposed constitution amendment that would pave way for party's Vice Chairman Bamdev Gautam to become the Prime Minister through the National Assembly. And in this context, our correspondent Deepak Acharya asked political analyst Krishna Pokhrel, would it be relevant to attempt the constitution amendment merely to secure high-ranking position for a political leader? Here are the excerpts.
नेकपाका एकजना नेतालाई प्रधानमन्त्री बन्न सक्ने गरी अगाडि बढाउनको लागि राष्ट्रिय सभा सदस्य हुँदै प्रधानमन्त्री बन्नलाई संविधानमा रहेका केही अप्ठ्याराहरू हटाउनको लागि नेकपाले संविधान संशोधनका लागि कार्यदल नै बनाएको देखियो। यो अहिले कति आवश्यकताको विषय हो?
यो मेरो हिसाबले यो बेमौसमी बाजा हो। मुलुकको प्राथमिकतामा यो कहीं नपरेको कुरा हो। त्यसैले अब फेरि यसले दिने मेसेज पनि ठीक मेसेज दिदैन। किनभने संविधान संशोधनै गर्ने हो भने राजनीतिक मुद्दाहरू छन्, मधेसी दलहरूको माग छ, त्यसलाई चाहिँ आवश्यकता र औचित्यको आधारमा भन्ने। तर अब यो के आवश्यकता र औचित्य छ त्यसलाई पुष्टि नगरिकन यो कार्यदल त्यही एउटा विषयलाई सम्बोधन गर्नलाई बनाउनु चाहिँ बेकार जस्तो लाग्छ।
एकजना व्यक्तिलाई अनुकूल बनाउन संविधान नै संशोधन गर्नु भन्ने विषय सामान्य रूपमा हेर्न सकिन्छ।
संविधान जस्तो गम्भीर विषय जो यति धेरै लामो रसाकसी र तानातानपछि दुईटा संविधान सभा मध्ये दोस्रोले बल्ल बल्ल बनाएको एउटा राजनीतिक सहमतिबाट बनेको यो संविधान हो। त्यसैले यो संविधानलाई लहरमा कुनै एकजना नेतालाई प्रधानमन्त्रीको लागि बाटो खोल्ने उद्देश्यबाट संविधान संशोधन गर्ने कुरा चाहिँ त एकदम नै बचकना हरकत जस्तो लाग्छ मलाई।
And moving on, the share market witnessed record-breaking transaction yesterday in response to what is said to be following the reports of the Vice Chairman of the ruling Nepal Communist Party, Bamdev Gautam, replacing Finance Minister and lawmaker of the upper house, Yuvraj Khattiwada. The NEPSE index on the first transaction day of the week yesterday surged by 69.56 points to settle at 1,504 points. Likewise, the transaction amount also increased yesterday, breaking all the previous records. A total of 8.769 million unit shares of 178 companies were traded with the turnover of 3.608 billion rupees yesterday, which is the highest transaction amount recorded ever in Nepal's stock market history. This is the first time the stock market has crossed the transaction of 3 billion rupees. At a time when Finance Minister Kantipur has been criticized for being inflexible towards the stock market, the ruling NCP had proposed the name of leader Gautam to replace Minister Kantipur in the upper house. This has reportedly increased both NEPSE points and transaction amount. If Minister Kantipur fails to be nominated as lawmaker within 6 months, he has to step down from the post. All 12 subgroups, especially the commercial bank group, saw positive transactions. The commercial bank sub-index increased by 86 points, followed by development bank with 84 points and life insurance group with 192 points. Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli had earlier pledged to probe into the ownership transfer of 174 roperies of public land in the name of Nepal Trust to individuals. The departmental ministry, however, has not taken any initiative in this regard. Although the Premier had promised to return the land's ownership to Nepal Trust itself, the transactions of land has continued unabated. The cabinet decision during the premiership of Baburam Bhattarai allowed the ownership transfer of the Nepal Trust land to individuals. Last week, Prime Minister Oli had pledged to return the land to Nepal Trust itself while addressing the parliament after completing his 2-year term in the office. The Land Management Ministry has, however, still remained indifferent towards the issue despite the Prime Minister's announcement. Minister Padma Aryal has shied away from her responsibility, citing that the issue falls under the jurisdiction of the Public Land Management Commission. Due to the ministry's indifference, the public land, which is currently in the name of individual, is being repeatedly purchased and sold unabated. As the buyers are not aware that the land legally belongs to Nepal Trust, they are the ones who are likely to bear the brunt of it. The issue also indicates the height of apathy on the part of the concerned government authorities on protecting the public land. In our Public Voice segment, we had asked the residents of Udaipur district what can be done to do away with the obstruction at development projects due to protesting locals. Let's take a look at what they have to say.
Public Voice.
गाउँ ठाउँमा जनजागृति पनि अभियान पनि चलाउनु पर्छ है।
स्थानीय सरकारले पहिलो कदम चाल्नु पर्यो। कहाँ अवरुद्ध स्थानीयले गरेका छन् त्यसको तुरुन्त अवलोकन गर्नु पर्यो।
काम के हो त माथि मन्त्रालयको सबै त्यहाँका कर्मचारी र मन्त्रीहरूले हेर्नुपर्छ।
ठेकेदारहरूले किन यस्तो कुरा गर्दैछ? सरकारले भन्ने कुराहरू चाहिँ ठेकेदार र स्थानीय बीचमा राखेर यो कुरा चाहिँ छिटोभन्दा छिटो निर्णय गरिदिनु पर्यो।
सबैको यसमा सक्रियता आवश्यक पर्छ।
जति स्थानीयहरूले चाहिँ भनेका कुराहरू सरकारले माग पूरा गर्नु पर्यो।
हाम्रो खास पैसा परेका चिजहरू यहाँ चाहिँ भ्रष्टाचार भइरहेछ, सारा कुराहरू भइरहेछन्। त्यसो भएकोले यो देशको निम्ति माथि राष्ट्र नै तपाईको सजग हुनुपर्छ।
And now time for our segment Public Pulse, where it texts us with their opinion.
Public Pulse.
What's your take on the attempt to amend the constitution itself to secure high-ranking position for a political leader? Your options are A, authoritarian attitude, B, vested interest, B, and C, disregard to people's mandate. The voting for the question is on. Type in a WS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. And let's move on to sports update.
Sports news.
Manchester United kept alive their hopes of finishing in the Premier League's top 4 after goals from Bruno Fernandes, Anthony Martial and Mason Greenwood secured a 3-0 home win over Watford last night. The result lifted United 2 places up to 5th on 41 points from 27 matches, 3 behind 4th place Chelsea and 1 ahead of Tottenham Hotspur. Struggling Watford stayed 19th on 24 points. The home side looked disjointed in the opening 20 minutes, but Fernandes converted a 42nd-minute penalty to register his first United goal before Watford had an effort ruled out for handball following a VAR check early in the second half. United doubled the lead in the 58th minute when Martial picked up his own rebound after Ben Foster blocked his initial attempt to score. Greenwood put the icing on the cake with another individual goal of the highest quality in the 75th minute, unleashing a pile driver into the top corner after he found space on the edge of the penalty area. And it's now time for our special segment, Off the Beat.
It is prohibited as per Nepalese laws to sell alcohol and other tobacco-related products in the close vicinity of hospitals and schools. However, the local authority in Bakes, Nepalganj and Kohalpur have remained a silent spectator despite these prohibited items openly sold in the vicinity of schools and hospitals. The concerned monitoring bodies have failed to take action despite the opening of shops that are selling alcoholic beverages and tobacco-related products nearby schools and hospitals in Nepalganj and Kohalpur. The scenario has openly flouted the government provision which bars the selling of these restricted items within a boundary of 200 meters from educational institutions and hospitals. The authority has been shying away from its responsibility, citing that it comes under the jurisdiction of the local government. Meanwhile, officials at the local level have been shrugging off their shoulder from the whole affair to the politics of power. Sunsari, Saptari and Siraha in eastern Tarai are regarded as breeding ground for producing wrestlers. However, with less wrestling tournaments held in recent time, there have been efforts to promote wrestling once again. The wrestling event this week held at Koshi Tapu Wildlife Reserve managed to attract a significant crowd from the neighboring Tarai districts and bordering Indian towns. Wrestling, in fact, has been the major attraction of the Koshi Tourism Festival last week. A large number of people from the bordering towns of Bhimnagar, Farmesganj, Birpur, among other places visited the Koshi Tapu region to be a part of the festival. The BP Memorial National Wrestling Championship, which was separately organized last year, was included in the Koshi Tourism Festival this year. Apart from participants from the departmental teams, Nepal Army and Nepal Police, wrestlers from all the 7 provinces had participated at the championship. The spectators, meanwhile, had a whale of a time watching the top-level wrestlers from the country in action. This is Bipashna Tamang for Off the Beat and Kantipur News Desk.
And that's all for the moment. Our next English bulletin will air at 11 a.m. this morning. Stay with us for more news and entertainment on KVSD. Good day.